How and when did it happen exactly? How did we let collecting kind of become a dirty word? Whether it's collector's box sets, the amount in your collection, collecting versus curating versus minimalism. When did we let the community become so divided? When did I become so divided? So let's take a look at collecting, at different types. And let's discuss the truth about collecting. Hi, my name is Aaron, and this is A Cult of Cinema. Around 14 or 15 years ago, I started collecting again in earnest. I've been collecting films most of my life, from the CDs to the VHS to the DVDs to Blu-rays, etc. Though often I would move or just wouldn't be able to afford to collect, so I would have to get rid of most of or all of the stuff that I had. And each time it became harder and harder to get back the releases that I had before. So around 15 years ago, I dedicated myself to collecting and getting what I wanted to be my dream collection. And at that time, here in the community, YouTube and like through my friends and just people that I met online, it was a really great time. It was a wonderful time to do that. Everybody seemed to be equally excited about the idea of collecting and where it was going. Scream Factory was just getting started. Arrow Video was getting a name for itself. Severin and Synapse were known, but they weren't quite there. It's amazing to realize how newer some of these companies actually are. Vinegar Syndrome, I don't think existed when I started collecting, and if they did, it was like really on the early scale of things. I was one of the first, early YouTubers that actually spoke with Vinegar Syndrome. Back when it was very different than this today. But there came a point where collecting sort of became a bit of a dirty word. But to really do this right, let's start with a bit of a turning point for me. There's a distinctive possibility that you found my channel initially because of this. This is Nightbreed, the limited edition director's cut that came out from Scream Factory. I did a video talking about how I was not going to buy this release. He says holding it. And it was called Shame on You, Scream Factory. If you've never seen the video, it's a fun little rant video, but it's one that was done earlier on in my channel and was done in earnest. I'm not a clickbaity, rage bait type of channel. I dislike those things. I find them cringe. But this was one of my favorites. I loved this movie growing up, and when this set was announced, I so wanted it. And it was a fairly high price point, especially for at the time, for one release. And although, I was definitely I couldn't get this. It definitely was in with my range and ability to get. I can, put my anger out there, I guess, for the entirety of the collecting community. Kind of, as obnoxious as that sounds, based on the at cost, and this was just too much. Now, when I got this one, it was amazing. See, I bought the director's cut like this here, and I got it upstairs with the slipcase on its own. I wasn't initially going to buy this, but I did, and my oldest, she watched this too, and she loved it so much that we gave her own copy of this limited edition for her birthday that year. In case you're wondering, this is 6,381 of 10,000. It's a wonderful edition, and I'm very glad that I bought it, but I did rage over it. And I would be completely hypocritical if I didn't like point that out right away. But it became the start of me like second guessing some of the things that I was going to pick up. And it's okay. I mean, it's healthy to question what you're getting, especially if you're going to be spending a bit of money on something. This is actually felt relatively like cheaper compared to like some of the releases that you see out there now. But still, at the time, it was a big change and a shift in the community. And it was a shift that, in a way, would be a sign of things to come. We were starting to get the hardbox releases. We were starting to get the ones with that, you know, rather than have like one slim case with like 2 discs in there, they were putting them in each case with their own discs. We're getting like books and art cards and that type of thing. And that's not for everybody. It doesn't have to be. Nor would I say, oh, you should grab this or you should get this. Everybody collects the way that they want to, but everybody collects. And I think that's something that's forgotten sometimes. That you could have 5 movies or 50 movies or 10,000 movies. You still have your little collection. And although you may not see your collection of like 10 or 20 movies in the same way that I see my collection, I do see your collection like that because it's something that is personal that you've decided to do for you, that hopefully encompasses and shows the person and shows the likes that you got and that you are. It's important that your collection, hopefully you can look at your collection and say, okay, I kind of get what you like. Even if you've got as varied collection as I've got right here, you can see I've got everything from like Sinbad to Hammer films to westerns and like just comedy stuff. But it's because that's the type of collector I am. Although I do have a super like great love of the slasher genre and horror in particular. I love film noir. I love pre-code films and expressionism, and I love films that challenge me, that make me put me outside my comfort zone in a way that makes me think outside the box. Not a Serbian film, I think that's crap, but films along the lines of one that other people think is crap, Martyrs, which actually did make me think. There's a few that I came across like that. But that's kind of what happened here for a while. We all started making videos on this side of the camera about our collections. You'd see people doing unboxings, doing tours, showing off stuff, doing unboxings. And, you know, that grew to people talking about movies. And you have people that would do like reviews, and people that review not the movie themselves, but would review the sets or review the releases. Both are valid ways to go. And unfortunately, due to the way the algorithm works, sometimes rage videos, whether they be real or unfortunately performative, tend to get numbers. And YouTube can sometimes lend towards pushing YouTubers to look for the numbers. And that's when things get to be less authentic. I truly think that part of the reason that channels where it's at, and that kind of like what's a small but comfortable spot for me, it's honestly because I'm not the clickbaity type guy. You're not going to see that type of like thumbnails there. That's not rage bait for rage bait purposes or anything like that. That's not the type of channel that I do, and it's okay if that's what you do. That's your brand. Just be honest with what you are. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about collecting and why collecting, it's so hard to call collecting. For a while, I would say I'm a curator. I'm not a collector. Like collecting was some dirty word to say. And I've recently like rethought that. Yes, I like to curate my films, but so does I think everybody does. Uh, does that make me not a collector? No, I'm a collector. It's a way for me to deflect a bit, me personally, and say, oh no, hey, don't worry. I'm not one of those collector guys. I'm curating. Still collecting, I'm just calling it another name, right? And we all do it at our own pace, our own rate. I am super excited about the pricey Halloween set I'm getting. I got down when I saw so many people that were out there that were making videos, like just, not even making videos, like even comments, just like crapping on it. And it bothered me because I was so excited. And I felt bad that there were people out there that were, and everybody's got their own opinion. Like, I don't want to take away from my opinion. That some people were just like trying to crap on something I was excited about. And some are doing it in a way, like, oh, that's not for me, I wouldn't like it. But other people got nasty. And that's different. But it doesn't have to be a big, massive set for it to be something that's exciting. That's a collector's edition. I've got a couple, like, not recommendations per se, but ones that were really big for me. They weren't not massive, like super expensive sets or anything like that. They were collector sets that I was extremely excited about. And this is Police Story 3, Super Cop. I love this film, and I used to watch this on VHS all the time. It was one of my favorites. And when I walked into Sunrise Records one day and saw that this was on the shelf with, a nice cool like Blu-ray 4K edition. I think it's Blu-ray. Pretty sure it's Blu-ray. Yeah, the Blu-ray of Super Cop with a book and a poster and all that kind of cool jazz. I knew I had to have it. I don't even have a DVD of Super Cop. I think I used to have a VHS at one point. And I love the Police Story series. After this, I went out and I picked up the Criterion edition of Police Story 1 and 2. I know there's like a 4K with the three of them on it, but I honestly don't need it in 4K. And can I be honest with you? This is a much cooler edition than the 4K edition that I saw. I was so excited to get this. It's not in a PVC display case. It's not a massive like edition like you'll see of some releases. It's not in a steelbook. But it's something that, as a collector, is special to me. Same company, slightly different tune. I passed this one so many times. I looked at it and I loved the look, the cover and the case and that, and I didn't pick it up. It was Christmas. And the day after Christmas, because it was not on Christmas Day. And I was picking up some stuff because I had some Christmas money. And I said, this looks really interesting, but I'm not quite sure on the film. See, I know my martial arts or my, certain Asian cinema films, but I'm not an expert. That's not my area of expertise. When I slash films, stuff like that, yeah, we can talk all day. But, I have people on here like Malcolm and like Maddie, people that like know this type of stuff. I'm not that person. But I turned this over just perchance. And the second movie there, Yes, Madam, has been a favorite of mine for a long time. See, I didn't know that Yes, Madam was like a part of the In the Line of Duty series. I just knew that I really liked that film. And knowing that I liked that film, I realized, oh yeah, I'm probably going to love this entire set. Spoiler alert, I did. This is a key part of my collection, and I love what 88 Films did with this. These are both, I think these are both, is this Eureka 88 Films? I think it's 88 Films. I hate when they don't say on the case. Come on. Yes, it's 88 Films. There we go. These are both 88 Films releases. They're both collector's editions. And they both fit along that mold of the collector's edition. Frank's Media talked about when's it right for you to get a big collector's edition, a big set. He picked up Dune, the big $180 massive Dune set. It looks amazing, by the way. There's the Life Force one that's coming out. Also looks gorgeous, and it's a massive set. And there was one put out for the Keep as well. I For years I didn't like the Keep. Like I never made any like bones about it. I was pretty honest about it. And I recently watched it again, and I kind of dug it a lot more than I thought I did. I'm not sure if I saw a different edition of it, but it tempted me. I'm like, do I want that big of edition of the Keep though? I don't know. But I'm in a weird spot. I've collected a lot, and a lot of what I want. And I'm not somebody that lives in an area right now where I'm buying on a daily or a regular basis. It can be months in between purchases for me. It can be up to 3 to 4 months between like when I purchase. So, this is obviously not an unboxing channel, although you'll see some cool stuff in there when I do get to unbox stuff. So that led me to think of like how do I want to collect? And recently, because of companies like Imprint putting out things like the Halloween set, like the Captain Scarlet, Department S, like the Tales of Adventure sets, stuff like that, that I really started to get excited about collecting again. But I thought about collecting in a different light than I had before. Early on, it was the quest and the goal for me for getting a lot of the releases that I wanted. I wanted to make my ideal movie like video store in my own house. If I went to a store to rent a movie back in the day, what movies would I want to see in that store? Right here. I've kind of done that. So did that mean that was my end goal? That was my stop point for collecting? For a bit. Yeah, I think so. And I think that I started to kind of like drift a bit and sort of follow the love with the whole collecting aspect of it. I had reached. I ticked that box. But then something happened. Then I was on my way to Spain, and I reached out to one of my favorite stores in Paris to get a small like haul of movies that I could be watching for the next 3 or 4 months. And they specialize in all the different companies. There's one that I always wanted to try that I never tried. It was Imprint. And I started to go down this rabbit hole looking at the releases. And that also I'm looking at Umbrella's releases as well. I realized that Australia has been doing incredible stuff in the world of collector's editions. And that's where I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to be able to do. I want to be able to get movies that kind of fill out the idea of what I think, okay, I don't have this one. I guess I want to pick this one up here, or this is one that I kind of want. But those are less and less. And I don't mind not getting something for a while to get something that I think is worth it. So if I was buying every week, if I was going into stores on every Tuesday and I was ordering on a weekly basis and I had stuff coming all the time, then I probably wouldn't be looking at buying a Halloween set or contemplating something like Life Force. But I'm not. And I am at that spot where I can save to get a better release that I think more encapsulates the stuff that I love, rather than just get 27 random releases that'll end up being costing more than what I get, and just have a ton of stuff on my shelf. See, I do like having a nice big display box type thing. There are films that I like, but not just because it's a display, because it's something that is me. The whole reason behind collecting is, in a weird way, is to let you guys see, and let anybody that knows me or is getting to know me to see, this is me, this is my passion, this is what I like, this is what I love. And if somebody comes in here and sees a giant, like Halloween 1970 replica pumpkin with a bunch of steelbooks in it, I think they're going to get the inkling of an idea I might be a Halloween fan. And I'm cool with that now. But that's me. That isn't anybody or everybody. Everybody is collecting at their own rate, in their own way. For a lot of people, Halloween stuff's going to mean nothing to them. They're not going to care. They might love Halloween. Doesn't mean they don't love the films or the franchise. It just may be too expensive. They may see it as kind of maybe too big. Maybe just not something that suits or is good for them. I wear crazily loud shirts, and I know I have friends that would not be seen dead in some of the shirts that I wear. I've got a shirt with a cat holding a ray gun riding a dinosaur, and I wore that down the streets of Morocco. Yeah, because that's me. Because when it comes to this, when it comes to collecting, when it comes to the collection, everybody's going to do it their own way. And I think that's what we have to start to understand. And I think we've lost that. In the era of rage bait, of clickbait, in the era of division, we all love, that are watching this stuff. We all love movies. We all love collecting movies. We all love getting the films that we want. Viewer on here reached out in the comment section and said, I'm not a big collector, but I do like a lot of 80s films, and I'm doing an 80s film collection. And and they don't care about whether it's Blu-ray or DVD or 4K or whatnot. They just want to have a good collection of 80s films. In fact, having them in different formats and different boxes, different types and stuff like that is kind of their punk way of rebelling against that completely organized collection. But it's still a collection, and it's a great way for that person to do it because it really represents the type of collector that they are. At this stage in the game, some of those big sets represents the type of collector that I am. I'm good with that. Hopefully you are. Hopefully you're good with the way that you collect. Let me know in the comment section below how you collect. If there's any big releases that you want to get. If there's any releases that might be a bit smaller that you're excited about, that are you. I am excited about Halloween. I'm kind of excited about that Life Force set. I'm very tempted on things like the Dune set because, I'll say it right now, David Lynch's Dune is my Dune. The other one's good. I like it, but the Lynch Dune was just perfection for me. But it doesn't have to be a massively oversized set. It can be something like this. Just let me know what you like. And let's do that. Let's try to stop taking each other down and looking at the ways that other people collect and kind of tearing it apart and lifting it up and realizing that everybody's got their own special, unique way. And you know what? That's okay. I'm Aaron. This is the Call to Cinema. And I will see you here next time. Have a wonderful evening.
Oh God. Subscription sloth here. Just want to remind you that I know in the summertime especially it can be super warm and lazy. But if you're liking this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to go that step further and join the Patreon, there's a link for that down below. You can super sticker, super chat, or donate. But above all, just lie back and enjoy the video because that's what I'm going to do.